my biggest challenge has been that I feel like, it's very unfair to tell people to not use technology. I feel like everybody should have access to technology. Everybody should have access to comfort. But as a society, we should be able to give more affordable options of technology, which is more efficient. I think the biggest challenge in sustainability would be affordability for this reason.
Hello, everyone. My name is Arat, and I'm here with Oneistox presenting another mentor interview where we have a chat with renowned professionals from all over the world. In this occasion, I am proud to interview and present to you one of our BIM professional course mentors, Afshan Rehman. She is a US-based architect with a deep passion for creating a greener world through policies, business operations, and building construction. She has a demonstrated history of working in corporate social responsibilities, designing, modeling, and certifying sustainable buildings. During her time at the Carnegie Mellon University, she explored the fields of sustainable operations, building performance simulations, HVAC systems, generative modeling, environmental science, daylighting, and energy finance. So, greetings, Afshan. It is a pleasure to have you joining us today. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for the introduction, Arat.
No problem. So let's get right into the questions, shall we?
Yes.
Excellent. So, Afshan, you have experience as an architect, you're a certified lead professional, and have even gotten your research published. Can you give us a rundown of your professional experience up until now?
Yes. So I started off as with my bachelor's of architecture from India, from Hyderabad. And before choosing architecture, I wanted something that, is somewhere in between science and arts. And I thought architecture would be a good way to integrate both. And that's why I chose to do architecture. And once I graduated from my bachelor's, 1:x wasn't around and I didn't know what to do. So I was in between different jobs. I did visual designing for a bit, and then I came back to architecture and I was working with various architects in India. And during my course in architecture, I always wanted to do sustainability, but then I didn't know how to pursue it. And so I did a lot of courses online on Coursera. I did Introduction to Sustainability, and I also wrote the IGBC AP exam. And I was working as a designer in a 3D visualization company called Foyer in Hyderabad. And even though I really loved my job, I thought that, I should pursue my master's in sustainability since it's what I always wanted to do. And that's why I applied to various colleges all over the world, and I chose Carnegie Mellon University. And once I graduated from CMU, I started working as a sustainability project manager in New York City at the Levy Partnership.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, what was it that attracted you to the field of sustainability?
So there are two things that attracted me to sustainability. So while I was doing architecture, while I was studying my 5 years of bachelor's, I realized that, architecture is not just about aesthetics and functions. And I realized that, architects had like a deeper sense of responsibility to the environment and the future generations to come. And that's why sustainability was important. And I realized my responsibility as an architecture, and I decided that, I want to pursue sustainability, and that's where I saw myself in the structure of society. And another reason is because I grew up in Hyderabad, there is so much like vernacular architecture in Hyderabad, even like the rest of India. There's so much vernacular architecture, and all these buildings were very sustainable, like their methods of construction. And I wanted to do research on how, you can incorporate these vernacular methods and use them to pioneer modern technology instead of looking for completely new solutions. And yeah, these are the two reasons why I decided to pursue sustainability.
Excellent. And yeah, I mean, I agree that architecture is much more than just designing pretty stuff, right? And parting from that as well, you have worked on projects that actually require like another branch of architecture, which is managing and analyzing a lot of data. So how has BIM helped you with these challenges?
So when it comes to sustainability, like a lot of people just see the larger picture of sustainability, which is consuming less electricity, like less energy. But sustainability also means like consuming less holistically. So like reducing, reusing, recycle. So how BIM helps is you can use like the data available through BIM to reduce the amount of construction waste. Like if you're able to fabricate your construction modules, you can avoid over ordering materials, and by reducing this waste, you're being more sustainable. And it's not just about not wasting material. If you use like the data in BIM and fabricate your construction, you're also making like better quality products. And when your building lasts longer and the lifespan of your building is longer, and when the lifespan of the building is longer, you are building more sustainably.
Excellent. Yeah. And when you have like integrated BIM with the field of sustainability, typically what are some of the software that you use on a daily basis for that?
The softwares that you use vary depend on what you want the output to be. So like if you are going for like a rating system like LEED or Passive House, then you would use another software. But if you want to do a daylight analysis, carbon and energy analysis, then your software would be different. So while I was in Carnegie Mellon University, when I was a student, I was mostly working with Climate Studio, Cove Tool, and Ladybug. And then when I started working professionally, I had to work with completely new softwares. But there's nothing to be overwhelmed because there are so many softwares that are available in the market. It might seem difficult and overwhelming, but as long as you understand what the basic modeling inputs are for energy modeling, you should be able to use any software which is available. So in my present professional day-to-day life, we use Ecotrope, eQuest, and Woofy mostly.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, definitely many people think that it's like the same BIM software over and over again. And I mean, many people don't realize that Revit sometimes isn't even used, right, for things. Or maybe like Navisworks somewhere.
So what I realized is, as an energy modeler, you can't like your dependency on a 3D model, like if your model is on SketchUp or Grasshopper or Revit, that will be the last point in selecting your energy modeling software. Like that is not even a priority. Like the other things matter much more. And as an energy modeler, you should be able to use a GBXML file and use any energy modeling software.
Excellent. So part of that, like we talk about the ways that you want to get into the sustainability sector rather, and also all these processes that are taken before getting to the modeling. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges that you have faced as a professional in the field of sustainability?
So this is something that's always been on my mind, even like before I started working professionally. Like, for example, if you see the amount of energy US consumes versus India, like America consumes 10 times more electricity than India, even though like the population of India is 1 billion, the population of US is like 300 million. And it doesn't mean that India is more sustainable. It just means that, in India, people don't have access to like dishwashers and washing machine and air conditioners. So my biggest challenge has been that I feel like, it's very unfair to tell people to not use technology. I feel like everybody should have access to technology. Everybody should have access to comfort. But like as a society, we should be able to give more affordable options of things, technology which is more efficient. And I think everybody should have access to like building construction or like equipment which is more efficient. And I think the biggest challenge in sustainability would be affordability for this reason.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I agree with you a lot on that because, for example, all this discourse about like using straws and stuff like that, I think it's putting the responsibility on the individual
Yeah.
instead of like, seeing like the full picture of it. And yeah, I mean, also talking about how not everybody has access to the same technology and infrastructure is also kind of important, and I don't think it's being discussed enough. Which is something that actually leads to the next question, which is that, recently there's been a lot of discussion about sustainable development, right? Besides what we just mentioned, what are some misconceptions that you would like to clear about what you do in your field?
So it's still slightly related to what I just mentioned. The misconception is that green or sustainability is only something that the rich can afford. So even though the first cost of price might be high, like if you look at the payback and the lifespan of the building, like you're eventually going to make that money back if you invest in something that is sustainable. And in a few years, you're going to start getting a bang for your buck because, you're spending less on electricity or gas. So even though it seems like it's expensive, in the long run, it's not going to be expensive.
Yeah. And for example, like when we're talking also about the whole thing of sustainability, like global warming, how do you think that BIM can help in the efforts against global warming and climate change?
Okay, so one point I already mentioned is about the wastage, like how you can use BIM to reduce the amount of construction waste. And the other way BIM can be used and is being used is for reporting carbon data. So whether it's embodied carbon or operational carbon, using BIM produces a lot of transparency. So from the beginning, like the conceptual design stage to the design development stage, there's always transparency about what materials you're using and what's the embodied carbon of each material and where you're sourcing your materials from. And because BIM stores this information about what materials you're using, I think having the carbon data can really help in combating global warming. And another way BIM is used for this is for like retrofitting and renovating buildings. Like breaking down a building and constructing a new building is never a solution. You should try to retrofit what you already have, and by using the data that you have, you can just see which part of your building is not very efficient. Like if you should replace your windows or add more insulation or just replace your HVAC system. Like you can use BIM to make these retrofitting decisions.
Excellent. Yeah, I think that most, like we said previously, a lot of people think that BIM and something of the real world, like global warming, don't actually link up. But like you said, if we actually truly see the processes that we're doing, we can actually see how it's helping. I mean, simple as like you said, reducing the amount of time that we spend doing rework, which is something that we struggle with a lot in the construction industry, and also the transparency factor of it, right? Like we can reduce all the time needed for like things that maybe are inflated, prices are inflated, or like even sometimes a ghost tasks or schedules, I think that while not as popular as like putting a green building, I think that they can also help, like you said. And I think that's something very interesting to be discussing like currently on this stage, particularly that we are now like adopting BIM in many countries, right?
Yeah,
so
and
I'll go ahead.
Yeah, and like a lot of people just assume that most of the carbon emissions are coming from industries, and factories, but actually 40% of the carbon emissions come from the built environment. So yeah, architects have a huge role to play. And I think fortunately we are in a stage where we don't have to like tell the importance of sustainability to people. I think everybody now knows that climate change is real and global warming exists. It's just that they don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, definitely. The other day I was talking with a colleague about how, for example, here in Mexico, we do have a lot of like emissions generated by the construction industry, but people don't think that's real because like most of the construction here is like auto construction. So like people build their own stuff, but they don't realize that, for example, when people self-construct, they're wasting more money, they're wasting more resources, they're spending more time constructing, and that also adds to like water pollution, air pollution, and all of these like results of not efficiently managing a construction. And I think it's also very important to make notice within our own industry how we're also like contributing to the harm, right? But also I think it's important to recognize how we can help as well. And parting from that, you've been involved in a lot of projects, like we said, that deal with a lot of data, with a lot of analyzing, for example, energy sustainability, how they can reduce costs and stuff. Which one of the projects you think would be your favorite?
I'm going to mention two projects actually, and it's going to call back to what we spoke just now. So one project is something that I worked with my peer at Carnegie Mellon University, Amulya Sirupaneni. She's also from SPA, and we both wanted to study about Indian vernacular architecture. So we chose this method of construction used in India called the Jali. Like it has different names in other cultures, like it's called Mashrabiya in the Middle East, and in India it's called the Jali. And we wanted to, research on that and work on like the solid to void ratio and the perforation size and alter that and see how you can, increase the amount of daylight in a room and also give more thermal comfort by, using Venturi effect of wind. So I think that is one project that we both are very excited to work on. And another project, which was like more of a fun project and was not a research project, is I had imagined, it was a comic, and I had imagined a future where technology is taking over the world, and the main protagonist is very lazy, very dull, but he's still able to live a very sustainable life because technology is helping him live a very sustainable life. And I've given a few drawings and examples of how that happens. So that's also one of my favorite projects.
Yeah, thank you for sharing them. I think, we would invite our readers to go and check her website because that's where all of these projects are. And actually the comic is also included there. So go and check it out. And also talking about like career-wise, do you have any advice for young professionals who might want to specialize in sustainability? Most of the people in India are engineers or doctors. So architecture itself is a very niche profession, and sustainability is even more niche. But when it comes to sustainability, there are many fields that people can pursue. It's not just energy modeling. So like me and my peers who did Master of Sustainable Design at Carnegie Mellon together, all of us are working now in different fields, but in sustainability in the AEC industry.
So people who want to pursue sustainability in the AEC industry, I think should be aware of what all they can do, so that they can choose like a college or a course which caters to what they want to research about. So the examples of this sustainability in the AEC industry would be like, one would be energy modeling, one can be an ESG consultant, which is like an environment, social governance, and there's a lot of scope for that. You can be a data analyst. You can be a software developer. You can develop all these, softwares for energy modeling. So there are many things that you can do in sustainability. So my advice would be to, know why exactly you want to do sustainability and where you see yourself contributing, and like choose a course accordingly.
Excellent. I actually didn't know that the architecture was, well, there's not many architects, I guess, in India. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's mostly engineers, mostly doctors.
Wow, I didn't know that actually. Here in Mexico, it's kind of the other way around.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like health professionals, but there's also a lot of civil engineers and a lot of architects and a lot of lawyers as well. But yeah, I definitely didn't know that. So I think that is your advice is very valuable, especially because of that, because there's now so much people that want to delve in the field. And I think that your efforts and your work actually have to, or will contribute actually to people seeing like all the branches that architects can actually delve into, right? So part of this efforts of getting to know like more possibilities in the construction industry is the BIM professional course of Oneistox, which you are a mentor of. So how you found, working with Oneistox students so far? What has been your experience?
So when I did architecture, like everybody in my family, they are doctors. So I didn't have anybody to go to for advice, like career advice, or like whether I should be working or if I should pursue my master's immediately. So I think Oneistox provides, it's not just teaching you BIM and making you industry ready. I think the best thing about Oneistox is it also provides industry guidance. You can talk to people and mentors from the industry who are doing different things in different countries, and you always have them available for advice. So you can, everybody is very approachable, and that's one great thing about Oneistox. And it's also helping you with learning BIM and Grasshopper, and it's really gonna help you when you start working professionally. And I think the best thing about the students from Oneistox is like when you're probably have the access to maybe something similar in college, like you're forced to do it because you have to pass, graduate, get your degree. But in Oneistox, people whoever has taken this course has taken it because they wanted to, because they want to improve themselves, they want to be better. So like I've always found that the students really want to learn, and it's nice to have that experience as a mentor when like your students are really interested in learning. And sustainability is an elective in the BIM course, and it's nice that it is an elective because sustainability is a big part of the AC industry and everybody should have some knowledge about it. So it's nice that Oneistox prepares all these students very holistically for the real world and for the industry.
Excellent. Well, I just want to thank you, Afshan, for your wise words and your advice. I agree. I think that the efforts that are being made, not only by Oneistox, but also from professionals like you that actively go and delve into the research of sustainability and how to merge the practice of architecture with sustainability, I think is very important. Not just in India, but I think all over the world, we need more than ever these efforts, and recognizing how we are harming as well with our profession, sorry, but also the ways that we can help, that we can try to fix, at least for the next generations to come. So do you have any parting words that you want to add at after this interview?
Well, I think I just say that, look at the bigger picture and the impact that you're creating to the environment. It's not always about how you are saving money if you're being more sustainable, or how your health might improve because you're being more sustainable. Think about the environment and everybody as a whole, because as things get worse, as the climate change happens, it's not the rich people that are going to suffer. It's going to be the poor people that are going to suffer. So just be kinder and be nicer to everybody.
Yeah. Excellent. I agree totally. This was the interview with Afshan Rehman. Once again, I thank you so much for your time. I think that everything that you said and shared was very valuable. And I hope that the readers that will be checking this interview later in the website as well in video will be able to pick on the ways that they can improve their profession. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Afshan, for your time.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.